Narration script, the baby shower standoff, _open a text message flashes on a phone screen. I can't believe you did this. You've ruined everything. The sender? A sister. The cause? A cancelled baby shower. But why? What led to this moment? And who's really in the wrong? This is a story about family, identity, and the unspoken rules that bind us. It's about the moment when kindness becomes control, and when standing up for yourself means risking everything. She was the second daughter, always in her older sister's shadow. Hand-me-downs, ignored preferences, a childhood spent in clothes that never quite fit. At 15, she got her first job, her first paycheck, her first chance to choose. But some habits die hard. Now, pregnant with her first child, she's facing the same pressure all over again. Inciting_incident, her sister, Meg, offers to throw her a baby shower. A kind gesture, but with strings attached. You don't need to register for that, you'll just take ours. Meg says, waving away her sister's carefully chosen items. Don't put that on the registry, we're giving you. The message is clear, her daughter's nursery will be a hand-me-down haven, filled with blue dinosaurs and truck books, just like her nephew's. Attempts_to_resolve, she tries to explain. I want a mix of everything, she says. Dolls and flowers, but also cars and things like that. But Meg won't hear it. You need to grow up and realize you can't have everything your way, she scolds. Her mom chimes in, just take the hand-me-downs and be grateful. But gratitude isn't enough. She spent her life being grateful for things she never wanted. She doesn't want that for her daughter. Midpoint_reveal, the real issue isn't the gifts. It's the control. Meg wants it all or nothing. If she doesn't take everything, she's ungrateful. If she tries to pick and choose, Meg gets upset, badgers her until she gives in. It's not about the baby shower anymore. It's about setting boundaries. It's about saying, this is who I am, and this is who my daughter will be. Second_escalation, she tells Meg to cancel the shower. I don't want a party where I can't even register for gifts, she says. Meg is hurt. I was trying to be nice, she says. But nice doesn't mean controlling. Nice doesn't mean erasing her identity. Nice doesn't mean forcing her daughter into a mold she never chose. The text message arrives. I can't believe you did this. You've ruined everything. She stares at the screen, her heart pounding. Is she the asshole? Is she being ungrateful? Or is she finally standing up for herself? Aftermath, her husband is supportive. We can throw our own shower, he says. But it's not about the party. It's about the principle. It's about the years of hand-me-downs, the ignored preferences, the unspoken rule that she should be grateful for things she never wanted. She spent her life being grateful. Now, she's choosing herself. Moral_debate, was she wrong to cancel the shower? Was she ungrateful for refusing the hand-me-downs? Or was she right to stand up for herself and her daughter? Was she wrong to put her identity above her sister's feelings? Or was she right to choose herself? Specific_judgment_CTA, so, what do you think? Was she the asshole? Or was she finally taking control of her own story? Additional narration, clearer timeline. Let's break down the timeline of events to understand how this situation escalated. At 15 years old, she got her first job, her first paycheck, and her first chance to choose. This was a turning point for her, as she finally had the means to express her own identity through her clothing and possessions. Fast forward to her pregnancy. Meg, her older sister, offers to throw her a baby shower. This is where the conflict begins. Meg starts making decisions about the registry, insisting that her sister take hand-me-downs from her sons. The inciting incident occurs when Meg says, you don't need to register for that, you'll just take ours. This sets the stage for the power struggle that follows. Reconstructed dialogue. Let's reconstruct some of the key conversations that led to this standoff. Meg, I want to help you with your registry. I've been through this already, so I know what you need. Her, that's great, Meg. I appreciate your help. Meg, you don't need to register for that, you'll just take ours. Her, but I want to register for some things myself. Meg, don't put that on the registry we're giving you. Her, but I want a mix of everything. Dolls and flowers, but also cars and things like that. Meg, you need to grow up and realize you can't have everything your way. Her, I don't know why you want to throw me a baby shower if I can't even register for any gifts. You should just cancel it. Meg, I don't appreciate what you're doing for me. You think you're too good for my son's things. Her, it's not about being too good. It's about my daughter being able to find her own identity. Evidence details. Let's look at some of the evidence that supports her decision to cancel the shower. First, there's the registry issue. Meg wanted her sister to take hand-me-downs for almost everything, including the changing pad and crib sheets. This suggests that Meg was trying to control the gifts, not just help with the registry. Second, there's the issue of storage. Meg lives in a large house with a basement, while her sister lives in a small apartment in the city. It's not practical for her to take all of Meg's hand-me-downs, especially since she doesn't have the space to store them. Third, there's the issue of time. She's 6 months pregnant and works a full-time job. She doesn't have the time or energy to sort through all of Meg's hand-me-downs. Family reaction section. Let's explore how the rest of the family reacted to this situation. Her mom is firmly on Meg's side. She said, "I should just take the hand-me-downs and be grateful." This is a phrase she's heard many times before, and it's clear that her mom doesn't understand her desire for independence. Her husband is supportive. He said, "We can throw our own baby shower without the registry just to celebrate with our friends." He understands that this is about more than just the baby shower. It's about her identity and her daughter's identity. Counterargument from the other side. Now, let's consider the counterargument. What does Meg's perspective look like? Meg might argue that she was trying to be helpful by offering to throw the baby shower and by offering hand-me-downs. She might feel that her sister is ungrateful for refusing her help. Meg might also argue that she's not trying to control her sister. She might see it as simply offering advice based on her own experience. Aftermath. Let's explore the aftermath of the cancelled baby shower. Her sister is hurt and offended. She sent a text message saying, "I can't believe you did this. You've ruined everything." This suggests that Meg feels betrayed and hurt by her sister's decision. She, on the other hand, feels empowered. She spent her life being grateful for things she never wanted. Now, she's choosing herself. She's choosing to stand up for her identity and her daughter's identity. Final moral debate and specific judgment question. Now, let's delve into the final moral debate. Was she wrong to cancel the shower? Was she ungrateful for refusing the hand-me-downs? Or was she right to stand up for herself and her daughter? Let's consider the specific judgment question. Was she the asshole? Or was she finally taking control of her own story? On one hand, she could be seen as ungrateful. Meg was trying to be helpful by offering to throw the baby shower and by offering hand-me-downs. She might be seen as rejecting Meg's kindness. On the other hand, she could be seen as standing up for herself. She spent her life being grateful for things she never wanted. Now, she's choosing herself. She's choosing to stand up for her identity and her daughter's identity. So, what do you think? Was she the asshole? Or was she finally taking control of her own story? Final narration. This story is about family, identity, and the unspoken rules that bind us. It's about the moment when kindness becomes control, and when standing up for yourself means risking everything. In the end, she made a choice. She chose herself. She chose her identity. She chose her daughter's identity. And that's a choice that deserves respect, not judgment. So, what do you think? Was she the asshole? Or was she finally taking control of her own story? Timeline reconstruction. The timeline is what makes the conflict feel less like a misunderstanding and more like a pattern. First, there was trust, a key given for emergencies. Then there was access. The apartment became available whenever the sister wanted to blur the line between borrowing and ownership. Then came performance. Friends were invited into a space they had no right to enter, and the lie became easier to maintain because nobody challenged it at the door.